Hello and welcome to Guelph GradCast, the only podcast dedicated to bringing you real conversations with real University of Guelph grads. I'm your host, Ryan, and today on the podcast, I'm joined by Domenique Mastronardi. Domenique graduated from the University of Guelph's Biological Engineering program in 2020. She earned her master's in Biological Engineering in 2022, and while she was there, she joined the university's Hub Incubator program to help start her own business and kind of boost her entrepreneurial skills, and all of this kind of came together to bring her to where she is right now as the Chief Operating Officer at Beck's Broth, a now $1 million organization or company. Beck's Broth makes nourishing and decadent, delicious bone broth-based lattes that you can make at home. You can find it in over 350 stores across Canada, including Indigo. Basically, it's kind of a big deal, and so is Domenique. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me. It's nice to be back on campus.
Yeah. We'll talk about Beck's Broth and what you're doing right now, but I want to start by talking about why you chose the University of Guelph and what was it about the program and why you chose it.
Yeah, so I chose biological engineering, which actually I don't think was offered anywhere else within Ontario. And when I was choosing what program I wanted to go to in general, I loved nutrition, but I just didn't know if that was going to be like a short-term hobby or if I wanted it to be my career. I was always really interested in food, wellness, sport, but I just didn't know. And I was good at math, and my dad is an engineer, so I just followed in his footsteps, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to go to school for engineering, and then after those 4 years are done, I'll have a profession, and I heard this stat that like 1 in 2 engineers actually don't work in the field at all. They just use their problem-solving skills elsewhere. So I knew that going in, and then I also knew that at Guelph they had this biological program where you could focus on food if you wanted to, and that really, tickled my fancy. So I chose Guelph for that, and then also, I really just liked the vibe of the campus. So I came here with my best friend and we toured a few different campuses, Guelph, Queens, Western, and they were all awesome. But I just really liked the kind of like small town feel of Guelph because I came from a small town and I just wanted to feel like I had a community around me. So that was cool. Food also really incentivized me, and it proved to be true. There's really healthy options. I like to eat healthy, and I was honestly worried about what I was going to eat first year. Sure. So that was a huge incentive.
Not eat every day, all day.
No, exactly.
Yeah. And once you got into the program, was it what you kind of expected, or was there anything that kind of surprised you?
It was actually better than I expected. At first, I really didn't like it because I didn't know anything. I didn't take any computer science courses or anything like that. So the first year I was exposed to all these crazy new topics that I had no idea about. And then I just got settled after a few months and I realized that I had all of these classmates who just wanted to be friends and collaborate and work together. And at the time, I was comparing myself to my brother who kind of enjoyed engineering. He was having an easier time than me, but he didn't have that like friend group that I was starting to build because he went to a different university. So I started to love it. And then at Guelph, what's really cool is you get to do a bunch of design courses. So typically in engineering, you have a capstone course at the end of the 4 years where you do this huge project as if you're working in the industry. But at Guelph, you actually get one every single year. So we did one where we had to build a Kinder Egg toy, and I found out I was actually really good at 3D printing. So I designed a whole Kinder Egg toy.
What was your toy?
It was like Santa's sleigh.
Okay.
And you would wind it up, and it would just launch really far. Like it had wheels on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. We got to paint it and everything.
That's really cool.
So that was cool. And then after second year, it developed more into food projects. So I developed a chickpea yogurt. I developed a high protein waffle that I ended up starting a business in for 3 years. I just got to do actually cool things that I was interested in that didn't feel so like engineering heavy.
And was there anything else like on campus that I guess now you're removed from it now, do you still think fondly of that you look back like, oh, I miss that, not just academically, like this location, this place, or this person?
Yeah, totally. There's this one picnic table like outside of the Lang School of Business that I used to go to just to be by myself. Actually went there to work earlier today because I was here for something else. So I think fondly of that. I just really think about the people more than anything. So my advisor's old office that I love to go say hi to him, and I still do. And then also I was a part of the engineering society. So every Monday we would get together and make plans for, curriculum development and events for engineering students. So I miss the people that I used to see every single Monday night. And whenever I walk by the room in the engineering building, it just reminds me of everyone.
Yeah. And then, so like, when did you kind of get involved? Like, you talked about engineering and all that, but you also started your own business. You had this kind of entrepreneurial mindset. Did you always have an interest in having your own business? And when did that kind of spark come from?
It's a good question. I think in hindsight, I now can put the pieces together that I've always been an entrepreneur. It goes back to being like 5 years old and selling duct tape wallets. And then when I got into high school, I was a lifeguard, but then I quickly started teaching swimming lessons because I realized I could make like $30 per half hour and work like 3 hours a day during the summer instead of work a full-time job for the summer. So I think I always had that entrepreneurial side to me. But when I was in engineering, I actually dropped out of the co-op program after my first year because I didn't enjoy my job. So that was really discouraging because I thought, okay, I really don't like working in engineering. What am I going to do? And I didn't know that I could be an entrepreneur. I didn't know that I could start my own business. And when I started my waffle business, it was just because it was a school project that we were given. Our prof said either write a 30 resource paper or develop a product that's going to be sustainable. And I didn't want to write a paper. I made that product, and that's when I connected with the Wood Center, which is the entrepreneurship hub. And that's when they kind of told me to make a business. And even then, like 6 months in, when I was making my business plan, I didn't really think it was a business until I actually made my first sale. And that's when I kind of got the bug for entrepreneurship.
Right. And so you just kind of touched on it there. So the Wood Center and the hub incubator, what do they teach you there? Like, what is that? How is that different than maybe the rest of your academic time?
Oh, yeah, so different. So when you're a student, you're treated as a student. You have homework, you do your homework, you get graded. But when you go to the Wood Center, they're treating you as an adult, and you have an idea, and if they respect your idea and they see something in you, they're going to help you get there, and they're going to hold you accountable to do it. So I still sometimes revisit my goals that I wrote out of my first meeting at the Wood Center. It was like, make a website, sign up for the farmers market, make packaging. So they actually helped me through all of that. What my website was going to look like, what platform I'm going to build it on, how to go to the farmers market, how to sell something. I don't know. I didn't have customer service experience. They paired me up with a mentor. I'm actually a mentor there now, so kind of cool. But they paired me up with a mentor to help me with all of those things and connect me. And they helped me actually design my dream waffle making facility and order all the equipment that I needed to start baking my waffles in a safe way. So they really took me from having an idea all the way to selling at the farmer's market. And then once I started at the farmer's market, they helped me get from, doing a couple $100s in sales a month to doing, $5,000, $10,000 in sales a month by having people come to my house, selling into stores, selling online, shipping frozen. They really just helped me through like all of those different transitions.
Yeah. It's funny, like products and things, we interact with it all the time. We see the store all the time, but we rarely think about the story behind it. What's something that surprised you about getting that first sale? Like, to that process, was there something, you had these goals, I'm sure you had some imagination of where you were going to be and what you needed to do, but I'm sure things came up that surprised you.
Yeah, this is embarrassing now, but I had a good business at the beginning. People were coming to my houses during COVID, and I would literally have hundreds of bags of waffles that people would pick up every Thursday out of my student frat house. People would just come and pick it up. I literally don't know how I convinced people, but they did it. Then when I started selling at the farmer's market, people would try a waffle, and they would literally start coughing while they were eating it. They'd be like, this is good. And I was like, is there something wrong? And then finally someone said to me, your waffles are kind of dry.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, why is no one telling me? But it's because they all kind of knew me or knew of me, heard my story in the paper or something like that. But now at the farmer's market, people have no idea who you are. They don't even know that I'm the business owner. They think I'm just working at the market. Right. So they're going to be honest. And then I got my first honest piece of feedback, and I ended up working with a food scientist to fix it. But the beginning felt so serendipitous, and then you start getting feedback that kind of stings. And it's like,
you really need that confidant. You need someone you can always rely on to give you the honest truth that's constructive and helpful.
Totally.
And do you think that kind of plays into the whole kind of entrepreneurial mindset? Do you think like part of the entrepreneurial mindset is just being able to take risks and know that you're going to make a mistake, but it's okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all entrepreneurs are a little bit delulu. You need to have a little bit of delulu in you to take risks and start things before you're ready, because the difference between an idea and success is execution. Everyone has ideas. Not everyone is confident enough to execute, knowing that you could face criticism or failure if you don't do it properly, which a lot of the times you don't. I shut down this business. Could be a failure, but I don't care because I learned a lot. So as entrepreneurs, we need to be okay with knowing that you're not going to be perfect and knowing that people are going to talk about you and laugh at you and whatever it is. As long as you can laugh at yourself, I think that everything's okay.
Yeah. And you're all learning, right? Like, so like, I feel like with a lot of successful entrepreneurs, you only see the one success, but really they have all these other businesses and things that maybe didn't work out, but they all learned something from each one of those stages, right? Like,
Exactly.
oh, this taught me about, for you, like certain food production and all that, and kind of leads to this, next stage. So moving on to your next stage, who is Becky Prime and what does she mean to you?
I'm laughing because someone just wrote like a really bad Amazon review about Beck's Broth. And at the end of it, they wrote like, I don't know who Becky Prime is, but she needs to stop posting on Instagram captions. It was like a troll posting,
right.
But that was Becky Prime is a funny word in my brain right now. Prime example of being an entrepreneur. But she's my business partner. She's the founder of Beck's Broth. She's a gut health nutritionist. And when she finished her nutrition school, she noticed a reoccurring problem, which is everyone has gut health issues. There's actually a stat that 40% of North Americans have tummy troubles on a daily basis, and no one's talking about it. So that means like between the two of us, one of us is probably running to the bathroom at some point today. Just to put that, you see?
It's not me.
Oh, okay, well,
maybe.
Hot girls got gut issues, so it's fine. But so she discovered bone broth. It's an ancestral beverage that we used to drink as kids when we were sick, and she was trying to get her clients to drink it on an empty stomach, but it kind of sucks because you want your coffee. So she said, hey, what if I mix it with a coffee or hot chocolate and then it just tastes like what you want to drink, but you're getting the gut health, the protein benefits? And she started selling that to her clients. And kind of like me, serendipitously turned into a business because she thought it was just going to be like a little side hustle for her clients. And then people started to really like it and pick it up. And then she started selling at the farmer's market. We kind of met through both having our own businesses, and I loved what she was doing. I think in business, there's a term called a unicorn business, which is something that you can see follow that hockey stick curve. And I saw that in Beck's Broth. And I knew that she was also an awesome founder that had really complementary skill sets to mine. She's very personable, fun, good at sales, good at marketing. I'm really numbers oriented. I'm a little bit more serious. And we were working together in tandem while I was running Happy Era. I was helping her with grants. She was helping teach me how to do sales better. And we joked about having a business together one day. And when I graduated, I just picked up the phone and I was like, hey, how would you feel about me becoming your co-founder? Now she says it was the easiest yes she ever said. We obviously did our due diligence and hired a mentor and made sure everything made sense. But yeah, that's a little bit about who she is and how we met. She's awesome.
And then how did that, like you said, you kind of touched on a little bit, like you had to propose it. Like, when did you get the idea of like, actually, I want to be like, not just her friend, I want to be fully a part of this business?
Yeah. I knew that I loved running a business because I had Happy Era. I knew that I didn't want to bake waffles forever. Like I knew once I graduated, I was going to have to figure out what I was doing with my life. And at the same time, I went on a grad trip to Croatia. Where this ties in is I got a really bad parasite that completely wiped out my gut health. Like I wasn't leaving the house for months, and like I just had a really hard time getting back to being able to eat normal food after I had this parasite. And Beck's Broth was something that helped me get through it. So I had a personal attachment to bone broth, and I just loved working with her. So it just felt like a natural transition to me. It was scary to ask her because she was one of my best friends. She's my best friend. And I was scared to disrespect her and be, I don't know. I was like, what if she thinks that I'm just like trying to take half of her business? Or what if she doesn't see me as worthy of running a business? I think I learned that if you want something, you can't be passive aggressive about it. You need to ask for it. And that's like, making that decision is something I carry with me now into the future. If I want something and the other person isn't picking up, I'm just going to say it because what's the worst thing that could happen is they say no. So,
Well, because I guess too, like if you didn't say something, but you still were her friend, you might feel like a bit of resentment because you're like giving your advice or kind of wanting to put it out there like, I kind of want to be a part of this, but I don't want to say it. So then if she rejects you or doesn't fully ask you to, maybe you have that feeling of residual kind of resentment and then maybe you wouldn't be friends anymore. But now it's perfect.
Now it's perfect.
And so now you're the chief operating officer. What does that mean? And what does kind of your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so actually, I'm now the president, which is,
all right.
I mean,
News? Breaking news?
breaking news hasn't been announced,
Okay. I'll
to be
scratch that
announced.
out.
PSA. Well, my assistant, I really want to give her a director of operations title, so it made sense for me to change my title. But when I joined as chief operating officer, which basically meant keep the lights on, do anything in the background of the business. And so buying raw materials, making sure that we have production runs organized, and then making sure we have money in the bank account to run the business. At the beginning, it was like buy production, sell product, take that money, buy more production, sell more product. So we'd go in and out of stock depending on where we were in that cycle. As my role transitioned into finance, we've gotten about $500,000 in debt financing and another $300,000 in non-repayable grant funding. So my job has been more getting money into the business and then properly cash flow planning to make sure we always have inventory, but then also always have cash. Cash is king, so pretty much I'm the money manager. That's what I do.
You're the master of coin. And you talked about it too. You said engineers rarely get into being engineers, but do you find you're using those problem-solving skills now in the role you're doing?
Every single day.
Yeah.
Everyone says being an entrepreneur, your job is putting out fires. And I think how you can manage your reaction to the fire makes such a difference, especially now that we have a team of 8 women. If I'm going to be reactionary and stressed, everyone else is going to be reactionary and stressed. But I'm really good at not reacting to things. So if something goes wrong, I'm just like, okay, so what are we going to do? Or how are we going to make this funny? How are we going to make a story about this? And that changes the narrative for the whole team, because then it just creates an environment where not only are we not afraid of each other, but then also our team is encouraged to take risks and make mistakes. And what that does is sets us apart from other businesses who are afraid to make mistakes. And we can do things way faster. We're the first to market with new flavors. We drop 4 flavors a year, and it takes Oreo 2 years to develop a product. So being able to problem solve quickly and create that environment where we're just iterating all the time has become our superpower on our team.
Do you find you get like a lot of like weird suggestions for like flavors? Like, does anyone ever come to like, hey, I got an amazing idea for a broth. You should make this.
Oh, yeah. People want the craziest stuff. On April Fool's Day, I posted afternoon. Did you know if you post anything on April Fool's Day afternoon, it means that you're not joking?
Really?
Or it's a bad joke.
I feel like anytime April 1st, like that's it.
That's what I thought. Well, I posted a cucumber broth because I thought it'd be funny because I grew up on a cucumber farm. So I said, okay, this will have electrolytes. Cucumbers smell like nobody's drinking cucumber broth, okay? No. And then people were mad. They were like, first of all, this is a bad joke. Second of all, we want it. And I was like, guys, you're not, like, we're not getting it. We also suggested hot dog broth one year, and then we had someone come to a store demo and be like, when are you launching that? And we were like, never.
Well, if you'll indulge me, I have some ideas.
Oh.
If you want to hear them. And because you're back at the University of Guelph, I thought they would be University of Guelph themed. And you kind of took one of mine, but I'll just read it anyways. Okay. So Johnston Greens.
Okay.
Made with 90% wheatgrass. This bold, intense flavor has everything you need if you can keep it down.
Wheatgrass. Aren't you supposed to like shoot that back?
Yeah. This is intense. Okay.
Okay, you know what? I'm a wellness girly.
Okay.
2 out of 10.
Okay, Bob's Dog's Water Americano. Rich with nitrates and playfully flavored with garlic, paprika, smoked meat, and a whisper of ketchup. This tasty beverage is a comforting cup of hot dog.
We don't use nitrates.
Okay.
We don't even use anything.
All right. It's just
That's so many ingredients. We only use 5 ingredients at Beck's Broth.
How about this one then? Protein Griffspresso. With triple the caffeine and quadruple the protein of our classic instant coffee, one sip will give you the power to fly like a griffin.
All right. Griffins fly. I guess they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wings. Okay. Agra Macchiato. A full olfactory experience. Breathe in the rich scents of the barnyard and drink in the delectable, delicious flavor of a raw Yukon Gold potato, which was invented at Guelph.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I got one more. Okay. Cannon Cake White Hot Chocolate. That's just birthday cake flavor.
What's the cake? I don't get it.
It's birthday cake.
Oh, okay.
A cannon cake. It's just the alliteration.
Oh, okay.
It's birthday cake flavor.
What does it have to do with Guelph?
There's the cannon.
Oh, cannon cake.
Cannon cake.
Cannon cake. We could do birthday cake.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's white hot chocolate.
Okay, but is white chocolate real? I feel like that's an artificial.
No, it's just confectionery.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to veto that one.
Right. Well,
so
you can keep that. No? All right. I tried.
No idea is a bad idea.
No, but seriously, do you guys ever kind of create, like you said, it's an opportunity to kind of think about what you could do better? Like, so like you kind of think of an outlandish idea and then like, okay, just can we do that? And then what can we learn from that to make something actually good?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out Bob's Dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get his tribute one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like people actually like that in a weird way.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. People love a good, like
Savory.
Yeah. I love lunch meat and, like, hot dogs. Those are my favorite things to eat in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Salty,
I like
delicious.
a good hot dog.
Yeah.
Do you actually have any, like, new flavored ideas on the horizon that you're allowed to talk about?
I make the rules.
All right.
We just picked up... Wait, do you want to guess?
Pumpkin spice?
Yeah. Okay, we're that basic.
I mean, I'm not basic.
Yes, you were. You
Yeah.
just guessed it.
Yeah, well,
Pumpkin spice hot chocolate. So excited. So pumpkin spice hot chocolate. And then we're working on something for immunity for the winter and something for kids. So those two I can't share more on, but
okay.
pumpkin spice hot chocolate.
Is there any other big plans for Beck's Broth? I know you guys are now pretty much nationwide. I know you were trying to break into the American market before. Is that still a goal? Like
Yep.
now, is that progressing?
Yeah, so we're on Amazon.com, so you can shop us that way. It has been a little tricky getting our product over the border because it's a meat product and a coffee. Nobody really knows how to classify it, so that's something I'm actually like in the weeds of right now. We've gotten 2 shipments rejected at the border. Luckily, we've gotten them back. That doesn't always happen, so counting our blessings. But we are working on, so right now it's sold in an individual serving in a little plastic bag. We just got a sample of a tin. So we're going to have a 12-serving tin, which will be nice for reducing waste, reducing cost, and then also food service. So we want you to be able to go to your favorite cafe and get a Beck's Broth hot chocolate.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I imagine, promoting Beck's Broth, you're traveling quite a bit. Do you ever find you come across other people who went to the University of Guelph and like, oh, actually, I'm a Guelph grad, and they find out you're a Guelph grad?
Oh, yeah. It's literally the best thing in the world because you become instant besties. There's something about Guelph that everyone from each other, or everyone that goes here is like a little bit granola or just has the same appreciation for community, health, environment. And that's just enough of a common value where it's just so much fun. I actually was in Vancouver and a woman came up to me and she told me that she also went to Guelph. She's a food product developer for a different health food brand that's based in Mississauga, and she lives 3 doors down from me. And I met her in Vancouver. So it's such a small world. And one thing I wished was I did more social things in university because the social circle I have from university is really strong. But I just know that in those 4 years, if I would have done even more clubs than I did and more sports, I would know even more people. And those people are like quality people that I really love talking to. So
Yeah, I think a big part of that too is the community of Guelph around the University of Guelph. It's a nice city too, so that really goes a long way. And it's like a common story that people come to school here and they stay here.
Yeah.
You don't always hear that with other schools.
No.
Which is really nice. And so, looking back at your time, if you could kind of take a time machine and give yourself some piece of advice, maybe first time on campus, first time stepping on campus, what advice would you give yourself?
That's a good question. This is going to sound cliche, but literally just be yourself. It's a time of your life where you have no reputation and you don't know anyone. So why not show up as yourself and then attract people who are going to like you for who you are? And that's actually what I did. And that's how I met my best friends that I went to Portugal with a couple weeks ago. But my dad actually gave me that piece of advice was when he dropped me off, he said, I'm asking you for one favor. And he said, find a friend. And I thought he was giving me that advice. He was actually asking me to share my location with him. Like, find my on
he's
iPhone.
being literal.
Literally, send me your location. But I interpreted it initially as find a friend, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
You find one friend, and then it just makes your university experience so much better. The school, the marks, everything is going to follow. But the first few weeks on campus is just so much fun, and I wish I could relive it. So, yeah.
No, that's sound advice. I think often, like in high school, you're just trying so hard to be like everyone else. But then you realize as you get older, the only value you have is what you can bring uniquely. So you have to rediscover yourself. And a lot of times you do that in university.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know you're a busy person. So is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to talk about before we sign off? Any last minute thing about Beck's Broth you want to get out? One thing about your university experience that you're like, this was amazing, I want to talk about this?
Such a good question. Oh, play bubble soccer. Sorry.
Bubble soccer?
Yes. Hidden gem. If you're into intramurals, you can play bubble soccer for free. Huh. So, yeah.
Where does the bubble come in? Is the ball a bubble?
No, you're in a big bubble. Oh. And then, like, you can roll around like you're in a hamster wheel. It's so much fun. Huh. Yeah. Highly recommend.
Well, you heard it here. Don't study anything. Just play bubble soccer.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. If you guys like what you heard here today and you want to hear more, please like and subscribe. We'll be back hopefully next week with a brand new interview with a new Guelph grad. You want the latest news, you can always check out uofguelph.ca or follow us on all our socials. I'll put all the information in the show notes, including all the information about Beck's Broth. Till next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.